Do you know what your vortex is? Your vortex is the vibrational holding place for the best of all that you've synthesized through life. It's where the I know what I do want part of the equation goes when you know what you don't want. In other words, every time you sift and sort, there is a thought way that is carved out for you. It's what the evolution of all species is about. When you know what you don't want, a thought pattern of what you do want rockets out of you and is held in this vortex of creation by source energy, by your inner being. It is there for future generations. It's there for you to experience the benefit of in the moment that you become a vibrational match to it. If you're in a place where you're really feeling fear and someone says push through it, maybe what they mean is just hang on, because you cannot maintain that level of fear for a very long time because you're going to be distracted with life, you're going to be distracted with sleep. In other words, this too shall pass. And if you're aware that it will pass and you're looking for opportunities for it to pass and you're finding other moments that feel better, we promise you, when you find yourself in the vicinity or in the vortex, that's when you want to do the work. So the way you release fear from your experience is by replacing it with confidence and certainty. The easiest way to release fear from your experience is to find something to love, something easy to love, and focus upon the fact that you love it and how much you love it. It really is about the amount of airtime that you've been giving to things. But you have been living under a misconception, as have most people on the planet. Most people think that stuff just happens, and when bad stuff happens, and you look at it, and you have to, that you're going to feel fear, and that there's not anything that you can do about it. And we want to say, even under the most fearful of conditions, you don't have to feel fear because you have the ability to change the subject. So why wouldn't anyone? This is a big question that we want you to consider about yourself. Why wouldn't anyone be willing to change the subject from a fearful one to a joyful one? Why would you not be willing to do that? Because you don't believe in the vortex? Because you believe in reality? In other words, the only reason that anyone would not be willing to do that is because they really don't get the vortex, they really don't get attraction, they really don't get vibration, they really don't yet understand that manifestations will follow your point of attraction, and your point of attraction is evidenced to you by the way you feel, and you can choose to feel good no matter what, once you understand this, you see. So when you say, how can I push through fear? We say, we wouldn't. We just try to find little pieces of something that feel entirely different than fear, and we would practice them until they're so active in our vibration that even scary things don't scare you. It's so interesting. You can reach the place where someone will say something to you that has the potential of frightening you, and you don't feel fear because your understanding of well-being is so in place within you that you know how illogical that fear is. Are you getting the sense that in this diverse world that you are living in, where there's so much that you could think about, a lot of times the I know what I don't want is necessary for the I know what I do want. So the I know what I do want is born out of all of this stuff that you are observing. And you've just been listening to us here today saying to you, that's going about it the hard way. So we're saying two things to you that are seemingly contradictions. We're saying the diversity is causing confusion, but the diversity is also responsible for this very clean, very pristine, very precise, very powerful vortex of creation from which future generations will benefit. Are you feeling the confusion yet? We'll emphasize it again. How can the contrast and all of this stuff to choose from, which has got us all sort of scurrying around trying to sort things into piles, Abraham, does it help us or doesn't it? Is it of benefit or isn't it? It's of benefit because it helps you build your vortex. But it's a detriment when you continue to try to sort it out, because the continual sorting process prevents you from ever lining up with what you've already pre-sorted. You see what we're getting at? Step one is contrast will cause you to ask. Step two is the vortex holds in an eternal holding pattern for you, sending an eternal signal of what you've asked for. Step 3 is you've got to find a way of being more of a vibrational match to what you've put into your vortex. There is never, ever an injustice that is done, ever, 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 ever. But there are plenty of times that you get something different than what you want. But when you get something different from what you want, it's not because an injustice has occurred. It's because you've got a different dominant vibration than your own desire. Don't you love knowing that? Not so much. So what it means is, it's important for you to relax in whatever's happening and accept. That's the most important thing. Accept that whatever's happening, whatever it is, whatever is manifesting is an indication of what? An indication of your vibrational balance. An indication of your vibrational balance. An indication of your vibrational balance. So not only do you have the benefit of emotions that let you know how you're doing pre-manifestationally, but you have stuff showing up that is your indicator of your vibrational mix post-manifestationally. So Esther's first knee-jerk response was, that's just fine. This campground has been a pain in the... Yeah. For the entire 7, 8, 9 years we've been coming here. They never promised to give me what I want. And we say, you really don't want to need promises and confirmations from other humans, especially those who have a lot of other campers to please. You really don't want to depend on someone else's promise for the way your life turns out. You want to depend upon your vibration over which you have complete control.